Hello dear friends, welcome back to another episode of Kitchen Tips and Tricks. This is the 20th episode in this series and do check out my older videos as well. I know most of the tips you might already be knowing, but some might be new also and might be useful to you. Do check them out. Thank you.
Tip number 1. Coriander stems. After using the coriander leaves, do not throw away the stems. I collect them like this in a Ziploc bag. Then when there are enough to grind, you can pick out the dried yellow leaves from them and grind them with ginger and garlic. Now wash the stems very well and cut them into smaller pieces. Cut the ginger also into smaller pieces so that it's easier to grind. Combine all of them and transfer them into a chopper. I do it in a chopper because there is no need to add water and the content is dry. If you want a paste like thing, you can put it in the mixie and add water, but that becomes like chutney. So I prefer this. Grind them to the desired texture, very fine or coarse, whatever way you like. This is perfect. Now transfer the paste into smaller containers and freeze. I'm adding some to the very small containers. This can be used for making sabzis and curries, as you require very little, and the bigger containers for non-veg or biryanis. Individual containers are easy. You can just remove one and use, or you can use an ice cube tray and freeze in that too. Now tip number 2. How to wash a greasy hand blender. We use our hand blender to grind so many things, curry paste, oily stuff. So after using it, we can wash it this way. Take water in a longer jar. This comes along with the hand blender. Add few drops of Vim liquid detergent or any detergent that you are using for your vessels. Switch on the blender and run it for a couple of seconds. And all the oil will be gone from the blender and the blades are clean. Now we are going to rinse it very well under the running water. Isn't it an easy way of washing the hand blender? When you are washing it the other way with the sponge, we have to be very careful while scrubbing the blades. Now tip number 3. Have you forgotten to soak chana overnight? Don't worry, here's a tip. You can follow this. Wash the required quantity of the chana. Rinse them well with water and transfer them into a pressure cooker. Now add double quantity of water. Usually we should check that water should be well above the chana, at least 1 inch. Now close the lid. Cook for 1 whistle. After 1 whistle, switch off the flame and set it aside for 4 to 5 hours. After 4 hours, I opened the cooker You can see the chana is very well soaked, just like we do it overnight. Now you can again pressure cook them with salt and make your curry. Very handy tip, isn't it? Now tip number 4. You want to use fresh cream for a dish and you don't have it. So don't worry, we can make a substitute for that. If you have paneer, that will work, and some milk. So what we are going to do is take some paneer pieces, put them into the blender. Either crumble them or cut them with a knife. Using about 50 grams, 40 to 50 grams. Add sufficient milk for grinding, say about half cup. Close the blender and blend them to a smooth paste. And look at this. Here we have a healthy substitute for cream ready to use in your curry. Vegans can use tofu and soya milk or almond milk. Now the curry is simmering. I have made chicken curry, so I'm going to add the cream to this. The substitute. Add and give it a mix and simmer it. So these little tips make the work so easy. You don't have to worry if you run out of certain things. You can always find a substitute. So the next tip number 5. How to slice cherry tomatoes easily. Place the cherry tomatoes on a plate. Cover with another plate. There should be a small gap in between them so that you can insert the knife easily. Use a bread knife for this. It cuts the tomatoes well. Slide it, and here your cherry tomatoes are cut into halves. How easy is that? Quickly you can add them to your salads, or you can just enjoy them with some salt and pepper. Makes a nice healthy snack. Tip number 6. Now here we are going to see how to sharpen your knives. Nowadays we have many tools like this which can be used for sharpening the knives. But if you don't have any such tool, there are many tips that you can follow. Take an old mug, coffee mug, keep it aside for this purpose. Base of the mug, on the edge you can sharpen your knife. The second option is pumic stone, which we use for scrubbing our feet. You can keep a separate one for kitchen to sharpen your knives. And the third option is sandpaper. Carpenters use this for smoothing the furniture before painting. So you can also sharpen your knives on this because the surface is very, very rough. It has got sand stuck to it. Now what about the hand blender? When the blades are not detachable. How to sharpen them? Let's check out the tips. We'll be using rock salt. This is Himalayan rock salt, pink one. You get it in white also. Put it in the jar, long jar, and grind it. As the salt is being ground, the blades will be sharpened. This process will sharpen the blades. Now second option is foil paper. Cut it into bits and put it into the jar. Switch on the blender. While the foil paper is being shredded, the blades will be sharpened. This tip works very well too. Which one did you like the most? Do share in the comment section. And check out these previous videos on tips and tricks too. The link is shared here and in the description box.